Hello, parents. This is Dale Moore, principal of the Riverside STEM Academy, and I thank you for watching our 2020 video on the fifth grade recruitment and information. Normally we do this in the evening and we have different meetings throughout the district that we meet with parents. But due to the pandemic, we are doing this through a video. So we appreciate you being here and watching this video all the way through. In this video, you're going to learn what the STEM Academy is and about its program. How does a fifth grade team work and how do we apply? Now I should mention, if you're watching this video to get information about the school in grades 6 through 8, this video is also relevant for the other grades because we work within grade level teams, and so the information will be very, very similar. Our fifth grade team is made up of 3 academic teachers and we have 2 PE teachers. Our team leader is Mrs. McMorris, who you'll be seeing shortly. She's our humanities teacher. Our math teacher is Mrs. McMain, and our science teacher is Mrs. Harns. We also have in that team support of 2 academic coaches, Samantha McMain and Melissa Hyam, along with the 2 PE teachers, Mrs. Gonzalez and Mr. Stanfield. Students in the program also have the choice to take a band program if they wish, and that is taught by Mr. Watts. Now, our school has several different distinctions. One of them is that we are a gold ribbon school. And for the last couple of years, we've also been a national blue ribbon school. Unlike any other school in the district, we are actually WASC accredited through grades 5 through 12. That's normally reserved for high school only, but we're actually accredited in grades 5 through 12. Now, as I mentioned before, we are a STEM program. STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. And in that program, it is an integrated program between those different topics. Literacy is extremely important, both in written and communication, in writing, and in verbal communication. Students will often collaborate together and with teams, working on problems and solving problems along with something that we call design thinking. The Riverside STEM Academy is a 5th through 12th grade program. The 5-8 program works independently of the 9-12 program, but it is a 5-12 program with a very clear mission. Our mission is to provide a rigorous interdisciplinary learning program, and we are really preparing students to be able to be successful in a STEM major in college. At the same time, we want to foster the joy of discovery in this program. And with that, we promote a collaborative culture of innovative problem solving. It is important that students coming to us have strong academic skills, problem solving skills, curiosity, and the willingness to persevere throughout the program. Now, we ask parents and students to sign agreement with us, and we call that our Riverside STEM Academy Compact. The school agrees to create and provide a challenging standards-based curriculum emphasizing the STEM skills. Parents agree, though, to support their child by allowing both schoolwork and extracurricular activities by checking on that with their students and to check assignments and grades on a regular basis. We want students to accept full responsibility for their academics and behavior. Now, one of the things I want to mention here also is that we want parents to do this, to be technology savvy themselves, and we do have a full-time technology person that supports parents, students, and our staff. And now I'm going to turn this presentation over to our 5th grade team leader, Ms. McMorris.
Hello, thank you, Mr. Moore. I want to share with you a little bit about some program highlights and things that make Riverside STEM Academy a really unique and special place. We are a very unique and comprehensive program, and we do a lot of focus on project-based learning and research, but also problem-based learning and research. What problems can the student solve? So we really approach it in kind of a different way instead of your just traditional project-based learning. We have a heavy emphasis on student collaboration, lots of design and engineering research projects, design challenges that take place in all subject areas, and field trips to allow for hands-on experiences. We also have a program called STEMworks, and STEMworks provides some of those hands-on experiences right on campus, and we do that every Wednesday, again, right on campus. So these are like elective classes, They are integrated between the 5th and 8th grades, so students have a chance to kind of revisit some favorite teachers and work with students at all grade levels. These STEMWorks classes provide enrichment opportunities. Some of the STEMWorks classes that we have had in the past are visual arts, sewing, cooking, choir, book club, Raspberry Pi, Scratch, HTML, and Java. I also want to review with you the student schedule. We are a middle school, and so that means that students travel around and change classes just as every middle school student does. The 5th graders at STEM, well, all the students at STEM have 3 academic classes, PE, lunch, and an enrichment class during the day. Notice there's no recess in there. They do have their opportunities of kind of getting some movement out while changing classes and doing PE, but this is a middle school, so there is no recess. We do have a 2-day-a-week band program option, and if students choose that option, they go to band instead of PE on those 2 days of a week. That's for the 5th and 6th grades. A day in the life, a little bit of a typical 5th grader. So our classes are about 35, 36 students each. We have 108 5th graders total that rotate between us 3 academic teachers. So the students attend all their classes and PE during the day, and they carry their stuff with them in backpacks throughout the day. Technology is heavily incorporated into daily instruction and into homework. Students do bring their own computer, or they can check out a computer loaner from the school, and more information will be provided later as to specific requirements. Students use these computers in the classroom to complete assignments. Students also check online daily for homework and classwork assignments, and parents and students check grades on our online gradebook system called Aries on a regular basis. All right, I want to talk to you a little bit about my humanities class. So humanities is language arts and history. So we teach that all together in one class. History instruction focuses on critical thinking. It's definitely a focus of analysis and not memorization. It's not about memorizing a million names and dates. It's really about analyzing that cause and effect structure of, okay, this happened, why did it happen? And what happened because of certain things. The language arts, we do use the Wonders anthology series that is adopted by the district, but I also do in-depth novel studies and other supplemental materials. The focus, again, is on analysis and understanding, not memorization of every single step of the story, but really understanding those literary elements that happen in every story. A little bit of a comparison between language arts instruction at a traditional elementary school and at the STEM Academy. At a traditional elementary school, there's typically around 3 hours a day of just language arts instruction using the district adopted Wonders curriculum. So all the reading, the writing, the vocabulary, the spelling, all the grammar, all of that happens within about a 3-hour time period during the day. There's also daily dedicated small group instruction in reading and writing. At STEM, we have 85-minute classes. So in that 85 minutes, I'm teaching both language arts and history. That happens 4 days a week because Wednesdays are our short days, and so Wednesdays our classes are very short. However, so they don't get as much in-depth instruction because we don't have 3 hours a day to spend just on language arts, but reading and writing and comprehension skills are integrated throughout all the subjects. And now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Harns to talk about science.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for coming to our presentation. I'm Ms. Harns. I'm the 5th grade science teacher. And at STEM Academy, since science is the beginning of our acronym, you can imagine that students are usually pretty excited to come and have a full science class dedicated just to this subject. And our goal is to have students learn science by doing science. So again, an emphasis on hands-on learning, on collaborative work in teams so they can share ideas and work through their problems and thought process together. We do have a mix. It's not just doing labs. It's not just doing projects. They do have data analysis. They need math for that. They have notes and bookworks and lab reports. They need communication skills for that and for presenting and sharing their information. So even though we have science, we've got it integrated with our math and literacy skills, as well as engineering components. And speaking of engineering, at STEM Academy, we do have an emphasis on design thinking. So a lot of us have heard about maker spaces and these really cool tools that students can use to create projects. STEM has those. We have the machines and the materials for students to be able to be creative, to make projects with their hands in a low-tech and a high-tech way. But what separates us from perhaps other schools or locations where you can access those tools is an emphasis on design thinking. This process is actually a lot like the scientific method in that you have to figure out what your problem is or what you want to do. You have to try it out. You have to have a plan and test it to see if it works. You might go through several iterations, taking data along the way, and come up with a final that you're very proud of that does what you want. So in science and engineering together at STEM, we do distinguish ourselves from other places that might have 5th and 6th grade science programs by the depth and complexity and integration you get in that program. Thank you very much, and I'm going to turn the presentation over to Mrs. McMain to tell you more about math.
Thank you, Ms. Harns. I am Mrs. McMain, Sharon McMain. I am the 5th grade teacher, math teacher at STEM. I've actually had the pleasure of teaching multiple grade levels at STEM. I started in 8th, I taught a couple of years in 6th, and I'm very happy to be in the 5th grade now with our students as they just come in. A lot of times parents and students think when they come to STEM that they have to be at a very accelerated place in math, and that's not true. We do teach the 5th grade standards. We teach all of the Common Core standards that are in 5th grade, but we do teach it at an increased level of depth and complexity over your standard 5th grade classroom. The main reason we do this is because our 7th and 8th grade program is the accelerated program, and I'll get to that in a second. We do use Eureka Math as the foundation of our curriculum, but we use a lot of other supplemental materials, and we do integrate with science and literacy, and we want to make sure kids understand that math is fun. It's not just a way to do a bunch of calculations. If you come to the STEM Academy, what you'll be having your student do when they get into 7th and 8th grade is the district's accelerated program. So in the regular standard pathway in RUSD, students would take regular 7th grade math, regular 8th grade math, Math 1, Math 2, Math 3, and pre-calculus. That would be their pathway from 7th to 12th grade. There is a pathway that accelerates in high school, but our school is on the accelerated pathway that starts accelerating in 7th grade. So when we say we teach our 5th and 6th grade classes at an increased level of depth and complexity, it is in order to prepare them to get into that 7th grade accelerated class. So we do 7th grade accelerated, which is 7th and half of 8th grade math, and then we do the other half of 8th and Math 1 in the 8th grade. And then the students who continue on with us in high school move to accelerated Math 2, accelerated Math 3, calculus AB, and then calculus BC or AP statistics. So we want you to know when you come into STEM that we are setting your students up to be moving on to this accelerated pathway. So when you're thinking about putting your student at STEM, you really need to stop and think, is the Riverside STEM Academy right for you? And is it right for your child? We find that the kids that are most successful are the kids that really, really want to be at STEM. Sometimes parents want their kids to come to STEM and the kids aren't really buying it. So it's important that your student has that desire and wants to be at the STEM Academy. We need students to make school a priority. They need to take it seriously and realize they have to work hard, but there's a lot of reward. They'll be working on exciting projects, and sometimes their success in school could be mean sacrifices in other areas. Students need to be self-motivated to work hard both at home and at school. All right, so what we have observed about students and success at STEM. Like I said before, sometimes people think that they just if they're at a high academic level, that's what makes them successful. And that's not necessarily the case. This student, take this report card, for example. This student has some 2s and 3s and some 4s on their report card. But if you look on the right at the behaviors that support learning, this student has a lot of strong academic skills that are behaviors that support their learning. They apply a lot of effort. They follow school and class rules. They can work collaboratively in a group. they complete their classwork and homework, they're organized, and all those types of behaviors lead to success. The next report card we're going to see is a student who might be stronger academically. This student might have all threes and some fours, but they have a lower, I guess you would maybe call it a work ethic. They don't apply quite as much effort. They aren't really willing to work in groups. They don't always complete their work. They're not very organized. Because we're a middle school and kids have 3 academic teachers and rotate classrooms, they need to be prepared for that level. So we just want to make sure parents understand that there's a lot of expectation of that organization and effort for students as they come in. And the next slide. Just one more slide. One more thing we want to share is sometimes parents are concerned when they get ready to send their students to a middle school when they're only in 5th grade. And they think, oh no, we have 5th through 12th graders on the same campus. But we want to assure you that the 5th graders are very much kept to themselves. We're in one wing. They rotate between the 3 classes that are all next door to each other. 5th and 6th shares a set of restrooms. 7th and 8th have their own. And we do not interact with the high school at all, unless there's some tutoring going on that's preset between teachers. The kids will not just run into high schoolers on campus. High schoolers on a separate part of campus altogether. Lunch times are separate. Even the 7th and 8th graders are completely separate, except during those Wednesday STEMworks times, and that is all supervised by teachers. Ms. McMorris already highlighted the fact that there is no recess. We do really want to make sure you understand that, because sometimes kids are very disappointed when they get to STEM for just that reason. They love everything about it, but they are really sad not to have recess. So preparing for that is important. And the last thing is that there is no 6th grade promotion ceremony. We basically don't promote between 6th and 7th because our school is 5 to 8. So sometimes their friends might be having their 6th grade promotion and they'll be disappointed. So we like you to know up front that the promotion happens at 8th grade. And we have a very nice promotion ceremony for our 8th graders. So before my part's over, I just want to say that I hope that this is helpful and that you will understand a lot more about what our STEM Academy has to offer. And now I'm going to send it back to Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Ms. McMain. You can see just from this video that there's just an excellent group of teachers in the 5th grade and actually at every single team. Now, in order to make this transition more productive for students and an easier transition, for many years now, we've been doing a summer bridge program. And so this is a specific program designed to help kids to meet other their friends and other kids throughout the district who are coming to the program, because it can be difficult, as already mentioned. They're coming from other schools, and now they come into this school, and they may have been at a school, for example, from kindergarten. And so this gives them a chance to meet other kids in the 5th grade and make friends during the summer bridge program. When we're going to be doing that will be announced. We still have to see, of course, how the pandemic is going to come out and see if we can do it here at school. That's what we're hoping. And we may do something online if not. But there is a bridge program that parents need to be make sure they're committed to the first week after. Normally it's been the first week after school is out. But this also prepares students for the 21-22 school year and kind of get them ready for that. They get to meet the teachers, and as I said already, they get to meet other students that will be in the 5th grade. Now, we are located, just for the location, because we have students that come from all over the Riverside Unified School District and even other cities. There's a certain number that come from outside of the district. We're located real close to UCR. We're about a half mile away from there. We even do walking field trips there on a regular basis. So we're right off the 215 freeway, right off of Watkins Avenue. Now, transportation is something that we began providing, the school district began providing several years ago, and we're providing this year transportation in grades 5 through 7 and eventually 5 through 8. The buses pick up students and drop them off at their local high school, or meaning in the school district. So the school district has 5 high schools, and buses go to those high schools for students to be picked up there. Now, there is an enrollment criteria that is very, very broad, but it's very important that students and parents know what that criteria is. Normally, this has been based upon the state testing test scores, but because kids were not tested last year, we're using a criteria for this year. And that is that the entry requirement for students applying for the 21-22 school year will be based on students' performance level marks at trimester 2 of this year, and I'm sorry, for the third grade. And the reason why the third grade was chosen because that was the last trimester in which things were still in a normal state. And we'll be looking at both ELA and math, but students must perform marks of 2 or higher in ELA or math. For students who might be coming from outside the district, you can read this on this video clip or on this presentation, and this will also be posted on our website. And so I've mentioned already for homeschoolers and outside and private schools, we'll be looking at similar performance scores for them, and placement testing may be given for RSA. With that now, important information on applying for this school and for our lottery. And with that are the person that you'll probably be interacting at the beginning more than anyone else, and that is our registrar, Mrs. Unrath. So with that, Mrs. Unrath.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. I'm Mrs. Unrath. I'm the registrar, but also the point of contact that you will be getting all of your lottery information from. So if you have any questions about the lottery process, whether you apply or not, if you do apply, you will get an automated response from me, and you can reply to that email with your questions. Email is usually a better way to contact me. So how to apply is on our website. It's on the home page, but it's also under the parent tab as shown in this slide. Notice on this slide the application, but also above where you get the application, it says 21-22 lottery. When the results are posted in January, that's where you will find the results. So the application window is November 1st, so it's open, and it's till December 11th, but we do close it at 3 p.m. on December 11th. So make sure you get it in before then. There are guidelines to each question, so I ask that you read carefully the guidelines on each question so you know exactly what we're asking for. Hang on just a moment. Only one application can be submitted per student. Duplicates are removed. And then after submitting the application, if you don't get that automated response within a few minutes, check your spam or junk mail folder. If you have not received it before submitting another application, simply email me. My email is on the website under support staff, but email me and I can verify, because many times someone has put a comma instead of a dot, or they've misspelled Gmail. There's a simple typo, and I can catch that, and I also get the emails will kick back, so I know that there's a problem with the email. One last thing, parents applying to the 5th grade, because we are using the report cards instead of the CASP scores this year, I do need you to send me the student's 3rd grade report card. Parents applying for 6th, 7th, or 8th, you can wait. Don't worry about sending me anything just yet, because 6th, 7th, and 8th grade applicants are added to the existing wait list, and I won't know until closer to the next year if I'm going to get to any of those applications. So I do ask that you hold off. But incoming 5th grade, go ahead and send me by PDF your student's report card. Okay, next slide. The lottery numbers will not be sent out to you until the deadline of December 11th. It'll be sent the following week. So the week before we go on winter break is the week I start emailing out lottery numbers, and I also will send you a letter in the mail with your lottery number. Next slide. The lottery numbers are randomly selected by an outside demography company, and it is address driven. It's important that we have the correct address in your application, so make sure that the address in our student information system with the district matches the address that's in your application. And you do have to show proof of address when enrolling, so make sure everything is correct. If you don't live within Riverside Unified boundaries, there are a limited number of spots for outside district families, but it is a little bit harder to get in if you live outside the district. And if the FAQs weren't mentioned, there are frequently asked questions under the About Us tab on the website. And then the last thing, after the results are posted, hopefully in the lottery letter, but definitely by email, I'll be letting parents know what the next process is. Because of the pandemic, we're probably going to be doing things a little different than we did last year. So if you if you've had a student come through before, it might be a little bit different, just depending on the when the office is available for families to pick up registration packets. And Mr. Moore, I'll send it back to you.
Great, thank you, Mrs. Unrath. A couple of dates to remember. The application process opened up November 1st. Some of you have already applied, and then closes on December 11th. I want to mention here, though, when you apply or when your application come in does not give you any kind of preference just because you got it in earlier. The lottery is held after the closing date on December 11th. I've already mentioned the summer bridge, and we'll be getting more information out to those who get enrolled into the school through the lottery system later on. There's also going to be several days, 4 days actually, in which we will have some live Q&A sessions with parents, which I will be there along with a teacher, and maybe Mrs. Unrath will be there also. And so these are the dates, different times of the day, and during the day also, both time and date. So take a look at those. Those are also on our website along with this presentation so that you can look up those dates again. With that said, I want to thank you again for joining us for this information. Again, you may come back to our Q&A. Go to our website where there's FAQs also that answers almost every question that parents have asked us about this. So again, thank you all for being there. Look forward to meeting some of you soon.